After listening to today's episode, you're going to be fully aware and understand and be prepared for what it's like in life when you're in business. In today's episode, we're going to expose you to some of the biggest challenges that we're currently facing. And I struggled with that at the beginning of this year, knowing that I got to go into a grind mode, and what is that going to look like? So my question to you is, right now, is family number one priority for you? I can honestly say family is not my number one priority right now. The purpose of today's episode is to help you understand that just because you generating revenue every single month, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have problems and challenges. Right, so if you guys are doing any type of business or looking to start a business, don't think it's just going to be sunshine and rainbow. Understand that there's going to be some storms. Sometimes when you're chasing your dreams, you got to sacrifice certain things and what it look like to chase your dreams. I'm sick and tired of the bullshit that is portrayed on social media. The old adage says, when life gives you lemon, make a good batch of lemonade. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. And I'm excited for you guys to go on this journey with us and continue to grow with us. Welcome to another edition of the Expose and Expand podcast show. I'm the man with the plan, Jeremy Mathis. I'm Joshua. I'm going to give you the game, Mathis, and welcome to another episode of the Expose and Expand podcast show, where we expose you to the ideas, the strategies, the struggles, the failures, the people, and the experiences that have gotten us from zero to millions. If you listen to episode 25, then you know that 2023 was our toughest year in business. Coming out of the year 2023, we set some big goals for 2024. And if you didn't know, when you set big goals, big challenges usually arise, and that's been the case for us over the last couple of weeks. In today's episode, we're going to expose you to some of the biggest challenges that we're currently facing. The purpose of today's episode is to help you understand that just because you generating revenue every single month, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have problems and challenges. After listening to today's episode, you're going to be fully aware and understand and be prepared for what is like in life when you're in business. Let's get exposed. You all right over there? You struggling right now, my man. No, boy, and no, I'm good. It was just that ending part. Ending part. So this is an episode that I spent a lot of time thinking about, because for us, I want to expose. I'm thankful that we have the opportunity to expose the audience that even when things are going great in business, you're still going to have some trials and some tribulations. You're still going to have some struggles, some bigger and some maybe smaller than others, but that's just a part of it. Right. So if you guys are doing any type of business or looking to start a business, don't think it's just going to be sunshine and rainbow. Understand that there's going to be some storms. Yeah. There's going to be some sunshine, and then there's going to be some times where you're going to be frustrated. There are going to be some times where you're stressed out. And for us, I'm just thankful that we can share that with the audience and help them understand some of these challenges that we're facing. Nah, guys, we definitely want to expose you guys to everything that's going on in our lives. And in order for you to continuously get exposed, we have our gentleman's agreement. If you're listening on the podcast player, you hit that follow button and leave us a review after you listen to this episode. And then also, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so that we can continue to grow the show and expose you guys to everything that's gotten us from zero to millions. But this show is going to be a vulnerable show. I think every show we have is really vulnerable, but this one, we're going to help you understand what's going on, like in our day to day. We're making a good amount of money right now. Businesses, we have a lot of momentum, and we always tell you guys, if you listen to the show, one of the greatest forces in the world is momentum, and we have a lot of it. But with that is coming some real growing pains, some real challenges. And I want to start off with one of my biggest challenges that I'm currently facing is work-life harmony. I don't believe in the word balance. I believe in the word harmony, because I don't ever think in life you would be in balance. But for me, my biggest challenge that I'm facing right now is work-life harmony. And what that means is, with us growing the companies, again, if you listen to other episodes, you know that we are in extreme growth mode right now. We have a lot going on. We are rebuilding our real estate investment firm, and that means all hands are on deck. Meaning we got to do whatever we got to do to grow this company and to grow these teams that we have to build out. And with that is coming a lot of sacrifices, with me having to miss out on time spending with my kids and my wife. Last year, in the last couple of years, I had great work-life harmony, but right now, building and doing what I'm doing, it is causing me a lot of mental challenges, because sometimes when I'm in the office and I'm working, I want to be with my kids, I want to be with my wife, and I'm here working, I'm here making these sacrifices, and I know in the next couple of months, in the next couple of years, it won't be like that, but it's just still a challenge that I'm facing, and I'm sharing that because I want people to know that sometimes when you're chasing your dreams, you got to sacrifice certain things, and for me, one of the things that I'm sacrificing right now is being the best dad and the best husband that I can be. I haven't been the best dad, I haven't been the best husband because I've been focused more so on work and not been 100% present with my family. So that's a major challenge that your boy Germ is struggling with right now, and I want to expose you guys to it.
I think that's a challenge that we both are currently facing. And one thing I want you to expound on is the other day, Germ and I was having a conversation, and I told him that, look, he called me, he wanted me to do something. And I'm like, yo, I'm out to dinner with my family. And he was like, man, that don't matter. He essentially kind of said, that don't matter right now. And for you guys, I want you to know that Jeremy and I sometimes have intense fellowships. And that was an opportunity where we had an intense fellowship because he was like, hey, man, we got to get this done. We got to get this. We were trying to get something to one of our investors. So my question to you is, right now, is family number one priority for you?
No, family. I can honestly say family is not my number one priority right now. And I struggled with that at the beginning of this year, knowing that, I got to go into a grind mode, and what is that going to look like? And one of the things that I told myself was, over the next 6 months, I got to put my head down and I got to make some sacrifices that I really don't want to make. But I also understand that if I'm not in a position to provide the life that I want to provide for them, I'm still not going to be where I need to be, and I'm still not going to be the husband or the parent that I need to be. So I just told myself, over the next 6 months, I just got to lock in and miss out on a couple things that I don't really want to miss.
So I want to go a little deeper with that. So do you feel like you're doing that for them, or you're doing it for you? Because you said the life that I want to provide for them. And if we're being honest with ourselves, like, kids don't know, like, whether we eating gourmet meals or whether we're eating just regular meals. The kids don't know whether, they go to, they know about private school or public school, but is it for them or is it for you? You feel like
it's for me, and I've asked myself that. It's a mixture of both. Because the reason why I say it's a mixture of both, because I'm very ambitious. I have a lot that I will accomplish in life, and having that mindset comes with making certain sacrifices. So that's the me part. The them part for the kids is they see what it takes to make something great happen. They are living through it, and they're seeing what it takes to live out your dream to the fullest. You won't be able to do everything that you want to do personally and chasing your dream and trying to build your dream. I think, because that's one of the things I struggle with, like, dang, am I doing a disservice by not being there more, or is it better for me to show them what it means to grind? And for me, what I've come to the realization is that I want to show them chasing your dream means a lot, and I understand that this is only temporary. Because I told Ashley, I say, babe, this is only temporary. This is not long term, and I put a date on it. I said, give me until November 1st of this year of me just grinding it out. And then after that, we can go back to life as normal. But I think that's how long it's going to take me personally to get out of the hole that I dug myself in personally, to get out of the hole that we put the company in. And we are digging our way out of it. And it's very freeing to see changes happening, but I'm struggling.
One thing that I always say, and Jeremy's harped on it a few times, is, right, guys, we're grinding because we have to show our kids and our family, our community, and show you guys what it's looked like to chase our dreams. I'm sick and tired of the bullshit that is portrayed on social media, where it's easy to be an entrepreneur, it's easy to own a business. Guys, this is fucking hard work. It's fucking hard work, and I want you guys to feel that emotion, because as Jerm just mentioned, we have to do a lot of sacrificing from our family, from our friends. One of our friends called me the other day and was like, "Hey, y'all alive? I haven't heard from y'all." Right? So when we're putting our heads down and we're working on turning our dreams into reality, and this is what you have to go through. This is the part that social media or that the internet doesn't show you. Guys, I don't know anyone that has accomplished anything that's massively successful, that's massively great, and they didn't put their head down and they didn't grind. They didn't have to sacrifice. They didn't have to miss some things in order to turn their dreams into reality.
Yes. So, and guys, understand that this is not long term. This is not something that's going to be forever. I understand this is just a temporary moment in my life that I have to go through this. And one of the things that you said was, people, this is something that you have to do as you are going after success. Guys, again, I want to stress this is only temporary. And I also want to put out there that we're not missing major events. I'm still volunteering at my daughter's school and helping out, and I'm still going to all of her practices. But when I say the things that I'm giving up, I want to make sure I have clarity on that. Is I'm working late now. My late days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and I'm back working a lot more on the weekends. So when I say missing things, I'm missing the extended amount of time that I spend with them. But one of the things that I told Joshua when we had this intense fellowship, I was like, bro, right now it's quality over quantity. When we with the kids, it gotta be quality. We gotta be there. We gotta be present. If it's for, I believe an hour spent with the family and you present and it's quality time is way better than 2 to 3 hours spending time with your family, but you're distracted by phones, you're distracted by the world. And that's what I mean when I say I'm giving up. I'm giving up a lot of the time, and right now everything's quality for me.
That's good. That's good. I hope you guys didn't miss that, right? The quality over the quantity is what's important right now. And then two, I want to just break down something where we have to understand that our life is like the seasons of the year. There's spring, there's fall, there's summer, and there's winter. And right now we're at a season in our life where we're planting these seeds. And if you guys know anything about gardening, you gotta shovel, you gotta get deep, you gotta remove the weeds. And that's the season that we're in right now in our business, where we have to spend those long hours in the fields, planting these seeds, removing the weeds, laying down the fertilizer, making sure that everything is copacetic and where we need it to be, so that in the fall, when we start reaping these harvests of the seeds that we plant, it's just like Jerm said, we'll be able to get back to our normal routine. But it's okay, guys, for you to put your head down for a few months, even for a few years, and thug it out, to grind it out, to miss a few things, to miss a few meals, to miss a few trips in order to turn your dreams into reality. Right now, we're doing what a lot of people want so that tomorrow we can do what a lot of people can't, right? When we create that freedom that we're after right now for ourselves, we'll be able to do a lot of things that a lot of people won't be able to do because we're putting in the work now.
Bom, 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 bom. Look at that boy, Josh.
Yeah, I told you I can't.
Bringing it today.
Told you I'm coming with the game.
That boy just dropped some. He just dropped some heavy bars. But what's your biggest challenge right now in your life personally?
One, I don't want to harp on what you just, because that's kind of one of the biggest things that I'm struggling with as well. And my situation is a little different than yours because, like, my older kids, they split time between me and their mom. So if you guys don't know, me and their mom are not together, and we share custody with the kids. So for me, like when Jerm said that really hit home for me. Like the quality of the time matters so much more when I'm with my kids because I don't get to see them every day. So work-life harmony is one of the things that I'm struggling with. But from a business thing, or from a business perspective, one of the core things that I'm struggling with is, and it's a good problem I think we have, is we're doing way more deals. Guys, at the beginning of this year, so beginning of 2024 in January, we purchased $4.5 million of real estate. We're doing way more deals. We've been way more intentional about doing more flips in our business. With the data that we've seen and what's happening in the market, we feel like here's a perfect opportunity for us to flip. And because we're doing more flips, I'm a little bit more involved. And as we mentioned in the previous episode, Jerm is responsible for all things in our real estate investing company. But because I was already running our flips, it just didn't make sense for Jerm just to be responsible for the flip. So we have a project manager. And with us doing more deals, that project manager really wasn't full-time with us. So we brought on a full-time project manager, so I'm spending a lot of time training him and giving him the resources that he needs to be successful. But then also with us doing more deals, we need to raise more money. So one of the biggest challenges with doing more deals is just having access to reliable capital. I'm going to say that again, having access to reliable capital. So we've mentioned this as well in the past, where we have private money lenders who give us the money to do our deals or to fund our deals. And some of them, most of them, a lot of them changed their terms and they're being a little bit more conservative on how they lend, right? So that caused me and Germ to have to get spiffy, as we would say in the hood, and have to go out there and look for other sources of capital to ensure that we can fund these deals, to ensure that not only just purchasing the properties, but also doing the renovation. So it's been kind of challenging with our lenders abruptly just changing their terms and us having to go out and find new sources of capital to ensure that we could continue to sustain the growth that we are currently experiencing.
No, that's definitely been a huge challenge. But one of the things, I don't know, again, if you haven't been listening to the show, and I got to stop saying that, but if a lot of what we talk about is in our real life. And if you're listening to every episode, you'll be able to relate to a lot of these stories and figure out how you can put the pieces to the puzzle together. And the reason why I said all of that was because if you didn't know, as Josh said, this is Germ. I run a real estate investment firm. Josh, he's running our education company right now. But because he's used to having those conversations with our lenders, he's used to managing our flips, we just didn't think it made sense to take him out of doing that 100% completely. So now, like he said, we hired this project manager, but when you bring on a new employee, if you have listened to any of our episodes in the past talking about some of our major struggles, you got to onboard and train them properly. So now Josh is running an education company, plus he's training somebody, and you're asking yourself, if you think about it, where's his time? Like, how much time does he have? Because we have more projects. We're growing the education company, so all of his time is going to multiple places. So that's a big challenge, and I want you guys to understand that, how much he has on his plate right now. But again, as we said earlier, certain times in your business where you have to take on more, you have to do more in order to get to the other side, because the way that I see all this is all temporary.
That was going to be my next point.
It's all temporary. And if you can go through some temporary pain in order to get some massive gains, I'll do that every single day. It's just like in marketing. When you know how much it costs to buy a customer, to get a customer, if you know it costs $100 to get a customer, and you make $400 from every customer you get, at that point it's limitless. Right now, we know the pieces that we're putting together is creating a great company and a great structure.
Like you just said, it's temporary. So for me, I'm not even bothered by it. The old me would have been bothered by it and said, man, I got so much on my plate. Man, I'm bogged down. But understanding that it's temporary and that we need to go through this in order to get the desired results that we want, right? In order for us to get that time freedom that we want, we obviously need to make sure that we're doing enough deals to sustain the lifestyle that we want. But then we also need to bring on the team members who can help free up our time. By us bringing on this full-time project manager, that's going to free up so much of my time. I'm not going to be as involved with our projects. My only responsibility essentially now is when we get a deal in, just what lender are we using, what terms are we going to get, and then everything is passed over to the project manager that we hired, and he's going to run the entire project. And I was thinking about that. Like, I'll easily get back 10 to 15 hours of my week when we bring him on. Like right now, yes, I'm spending a lot of time training him, but it's just I'm thankful that when we have him fully trained and fully on board, what I can do with that extra 10 to 15 hours.
What are you looking for? So with that extra time, what are you looking most forward to spending that extra time that you're gaining back that we have him?
For me, it's just the education company. So guys, if you didn't know, we have an education company where we teach other people how to grow and scale their current real estate investing business. We help them build consistent and predictable businesses within our education platform. And that's something that I find true joy and value in. So I look forward to being able to shift that time over into putting more energy and effort into growing the business and ensuring that we set our students up for success. I want to make sure that all of our students can experience the same success and the same joy that we've had when it comes to real estate investing. So for me, I want to give them as much time as possible. So I'm grateful and excited for the chance to be able to spend more time with our students and just help them grow their businesses.
Got you. So I want to talk about another big challenge that I'm having currently right now. This is Germ. Another thing that I do is I manage our operations manager who manages our property manager who manages our properties. So again, I'm at the top. You have our operations manager, then you have our property manager, and then you have our tenants. And even though I'm at the top, and usually in business, the person at the top usually doesn't experienced a lot of the minor challenges, the challenges that the people at the bottom face. But we've had so many challenges with our rental portfolio because last year our property manager left us, I think in April. We hired somebody, a new property manager on May 1st. We fired that person by May 10th. And then we hired another property manager at the beginning of June. So from June until December, we had this property manager that really ran our properties into the ground. It was mismanaged. They wasn't doing what they needed to do, and it was a huge learning curve for us. It was a great experience in that nothing about the experience was great, but when I say it was a great experience, we learned so much about managing units and about having a great property manager, because over those 6 months, it was just pure chaos. It was so many people not paying rent. And right now we're in the midst of doing 4 evictions as we currently take this episode. And that's about 15% of our portfolio that is not collecting rent. And then we had other people that were paying extra late. So that's just been consuming me a lot and trying to get that company back on the right track. So yes, even though, again, I'm not involved in the day-to-day, but I'm still heavily involved in helping make sure that we make the right decisions, because we have older buildings, and with older buildings comes more maintenance costs, it comes bigger issues. So that's been another challenge that I've been currently facing.
So with that challenge, what do you feel like the solution is for when it comes to our rental properties?
I think number one, a thing that we didn't do last year when we hired the 2 other property managements is we didn't have good systems and processes in place. And that was again on me, because Lori, our ops manager, she wasn't managing the property manager, I was. But once we hired that new property manager, I turned that management over to her. And I gave her essentially a blank slate, but it was already drawn on. It was really, really bad. And I put her in a bad position. So we were playing catch up since she started, but she was also trying to manage horrible managers that were running the property into the ground. So we took a hard reset back in December, and we told her don't work on anything but setting up proper systems and processes in December. And now January, February, March, we've been implementing those, and it's been a tough task implementing those, because we're changing people's behavior. And when you change people's behavior, that doesn't always bode well. So we're just going through those challenges of trying to implement systems and processes, and also dealing with evictions, dealing with a loss of income, because we had 2 tenants that hadn't paid us for 6 months. And you ask yourself, like, what the heck? But so we're dealing with that. So it's a lot that's happening right now on that side.
So two-part question. One, what are you most excited about with the things that her name is Lori, guys, that Lori has implemented from the rentals, and like what are the things you're most excited about? And then 2, I want you to break down to the audience why we haven't collected why we haven't collected rent for 6 months. So number 1, what are the things you're most excited about?
So the thing that I'm most excited about is the systems and processes that Lori has set up will really remove me from the business, where I can talk with her about it once a month. We've set proper budgets in place for different properties. We've put together different collection methods where our property manager, if we get our rent collected by a certain amount of rent collected by the 3rd of the month, he gets bonus for that. So we set up incentive plans so that we can just have a much better rental portfolio. So I'm very excited that I just won't be in the day-to-day, because guys, only real estate is great from a cash flow and a tax perspective. But the management of managing tenants and toilets when you own residential real estate is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but it is definitely one of the downsides to owning rental properties, because you're babysitting adults is what I like to call it. So again, just being able to remove myself and not being so involved in it, and we're almost at the point by the end of April, starting in May, we should just be having one monthly call about it, and she's managing that whole thing by herself. So the second question as to...
Hold on, one point that I want to make, guys, is I want you guys to, I want to bring up a point that we made earlier. Sometimes you go through certain seasons and you go through certain things in your business to help you get to that desired outcome. It took us so long to get to this point, guys. Months and months and years of trial and error, making mistakes to now we've built the team, we've built the system to where, like Jerm just said, coming April, May, he won't be involved. So I want you guys to, I didn't want you guys to miss that point. So you understand that we've owned rental properties now for what, 4 years, 4.5, 5 years?
4.5, 5 years.
4.5, 5 years we've owned rental properties. And 5 years in, guys, we're finally getting some freedom from this thing, right? So I don't want you guys to think when you start a business it's going to be instant success or instantly I'm going to have freedom, instantly I'm going to start making money, because that's not what it is.
Don't let the gram lie to you.
Yeah. So now, why the hell we ain't been collecting rent for 6 months for two people?
So we have a property management system that we use that allows us to have tenants to sign leases through the system, to be able to put in maintenance requests, to be able to collect rent. Everything that we need to do, we run it through the system. So we had these 2 tenants that got real spiffy on your boys, and I gotta give them credit because this was beautiful how they did it. They would pay their rent, and it's automatic payment, meaning ACH. So they have it set up in their bank account to pay their rent. They would pay their rent, and then after 2 days they would charge it back. So we would see that and then once the rent is collected, there's a hold. So there's a couple days where it shows as paid, but sometimes that hold could be real or it could be fake. So the tenants, after they pay their rent, they would call 2 days afterwards and charge it back. So it took us a week to really see what was happening. Once we saw what's happening, we would call them, hey, your rent didn't go through, and they would pay it again, and that became a repeated cycle over 6 months. So we finally got to the point of saying, man, these guys are playing with us. Let's get them evicted. And these properties are in Miami, and in Miami, it's taking like 60 to 90 days to evict some of these people. So that's what's been happening with the rentals.
So what would you say the lesson that was learned from this?
The lesson that was learned from this was a process that we created. The first time that your rent doesn't go through our electric system, you have to bring, not mail, but you have to bring a cashier's check to the office moving forward. So that's the new system. That's the new process that we got in place now for us. So to avoid that.
Got you. So I want to talk about another problem that I'm having, or another challenge that I'm facing. I don't want to say problem, but a challenge that I'm facing. So as I just mentioned, we're doing way more projects. We're bringing on a project manager, spending a lot of time talking to investors, raising money to ensure that we can get these projects done. So with that being said, when you're putting your time somewhere in one place, somewhere else, there's a sacrifice being made. So right now, our education sales are not growing they're not growing the way that we want to. We had set certain goals and certain metrics of how we wanted to grow the education business, but because I'm spending so much time on the real estate front, making sure that we're onboarding this project manager right, making sure that we are underwriting these flips right, making sure that we have the finances in order to get these projects to the finish line, I've been spending the bulk of my time there and not spending as much time as I need on the education side, growing the sales, ensuring that all the things that needs to get done there are getting taken care of, right? So at one point, it was really bothering me because you guys have heard in the previous episode that I'm responsible for all things education. But it was maybe a couple weeks ago where I said, you know what? This is only a few weeks, maybe a couple months, that I need to make sure that our fixing and flipping is set up successfully, right? So that I can then go ahead and shift my energy and my time and focus to the education side. We're still making things happen, but it's not going as fast as we would want it to go, as we would want it to go.
So I want to make sure that you guys are clear. Yes, the fulfillment and the service, the level of service that we give to our students I believe is one of the top in the industry. But what Josh is saying is, I want to make this clear so that you guys don't get it misconstrued, is that the sales have slowed down because he is helping the project manager get acclimated and get onboarded. So the level of service is still there because we have students that are doing deals and they're crushing it. And I got to give kudos to Josh just to see the growth that we're having on that side, on the student, on the front for our students. So that's been something that has been helping us gain more momentum.
And then thank you for the clarification. For me, I'm like excited really to get my time back on the education side. As I mentioned earlier, like I find so much joy and so much passion in seeing our students when they come in, they're doing a few deals, they're struggling to find consistency in their business. with some of the tools, tricks, and strategies that we give them to see them grow and scale their business is a joy like no other. And then two, like I've said before, man, a part of our coaching program is the freedom that real estate has given us when it comes to from the financial standpoint is what I want our students to experience. So to see some of these students experiencing that is a great feeling. So I'm excited. I just can't wait to really start getting head first back into the sales part and growing and growing that and bringing on more students.
Yeah. So guys, this has been an episode where we've gotten vulnerable, where we've helped you understand some of our biggest challenges that we currently face in business. And again, the purpose of doing this was to help you understand that, yes, we're bringing in a good ton of money right now, a good chunk of change right now, but we still are having some challenges. And we want you guys to understand that as you grow your businesses, as you grow within life, challenges will always come. The old adage says, when life gives you lemon, make a good batch of lemonade. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. And I'm excited for you guys to go on this journey with us and continue to grow with us. Guys, y'all continue to tap into the Expose and Expand podcast show, because I'm telling you, if you're doing what we're teaching you guys to do, if you're learning from these episodes and you're applying it to your life, I guarantee you your life will change. And I know that because I just had a conversation yesterday with somebody who got way more money than us, but he listened to the podcast show, and it was like, dude, y'all podcast show is something that has been instrumental in my life and helping me in business. So y'all boys keep going, but y'all share this episode with somebody. You got anything, any parting words, any last words?
One thing that you said is, man, just guys, if we would really appreciate the favor if you guys continue to share. As you guys here, man, you've heard some of the challenges that we're currently facing. Obviously, there's others,
way
more challenges that we're facing. And guys, I want to just take a vulnerable moment and share that there's several times where Jeremy and I just say, like, man, is this podcast worth it? Should we continue to do this, guys? Because it's not just us sitting down talking. It's the planning, it's the thought process, it's the production, it's the distribution of it, it's the sharing of the content and the clips. There's so much more that happens behind the scenes that you guys don't see. And kudos to Jerm for making it all happen and managing some of the people that make it happen. But guys, it takes time to make this happen. So, man, we would greatly appreciate if you guys just share this, expose other people, because this is real, guys. This is real life. This is no fluff. This is not something that we read about. This is shit that we're actually living. So, man, we would greatly appreciate if you guys can share, because we're going to keep rocking, man. We're going to keep doing these episodes. We're going to keep exposing you guys so that you can expand in your life.
Mom, sorry for Josh's bad language today. Sorry, everybody, for Josh's bad language today. But, guys, as you know, as I said at the beginning, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that follow button. If you're listening on the podcast players, share with people. Expose and expand. Peace.
Expose and expand. Peace.